Well, welcome back to yet another edition of the Land Matters. The program is actually designed to educate you on the land issues. We understand there are a lot of land issues in the country, and today our focus is actually going to be on the Ashanti region. We are privileged to be interviewing one outstanding and astute surveyor, and he's worked with the Lands Commission for a very long time, and want to believe that he's gathered a lot of experience. So today, I am so privileged to be talking to a man who has actually worked with the Lands Commission for decades. Surveyor Elder Stephen Oduro-Kwarteng, you're welcome onto the show.
Thank you very much, my sister.
So, sir, how have you been?
By God's grace, all is well.
Oh, great, great, great. So today our focus, the spotlight is on the Ashanti region. We want to understand what your work looks like on daily basis in the region, because we want to know the dynamics in registration, because back in the Great Accra, we do title registration. How is it like in the Ashanti region?
Well, Ashanti region, we have two systems of registration. Land title registration, or land registration, and then the deeds registration. Land registration is concentrated within what we call K1. That is Kumasi and its environs.
Okay.
And then within the other districts is for deeds registration.
So you have the two systems running here in the region?
Yes.
Okay. So when you talk about deed registration, what exactly do you mean?
Deeds registration is about registering the deed. That's the document.
The document, the copies of indenture?
Yes, the indenture.
Okay.
But title registration is about the title, the interest that the person holds.
Okay.
If the person holds, say, 99 years for residential, 50 years for commercial, industrial, that's the title that we are registering.
So why the variation? Why do you run these two systems here?
Well, it's because in Ashanti region, K1 was declared as a registration district. It has to be declared by the minister.
Okay.
And it was declared as a registration district. And then the others remained as they are for deeds registration system. Okay. So we are even yearning for an expansion of the registration district, so that, or even to cover the entire region, so that it will be under land registration.
And with these two systems currently running, do you have any challenges?
Well, we have challenges in the sense that two systems running concurrently within the same region. Sometimes people question why.
Exactly.
Because it's easier under deeds. If you want to register under deeds, it takes a very short time. Because once the document is, if it's a two land and it's concurred or concurrence is granted by the commission, it's just registered. But
when
under
it's
deeds,
two land.
if it is two land,
yes,
concurrence has to be granted by the...
Now, when you talk about concurrence, what exactly do you mean?
Concurrence...
I want you to break down the conversation to the layman's level, where everybody gets to appreciate all these terminologies and technical areas. So let's be, come down to the level of our viewers who don't understand all these things. When you talk about concurrence, what exactly are we talking about?
Okay, under the Constitution, 1992 Constitution, all stews manage their own lands.
Exactly.
And therefore, the chiefs who are custodians do the allocation or granting of lands within their jurisdiction. And when you grant, government has to approve.
When a chief grants,
yes,
government must step in to approve.
And that is done on behalf of government by the Lands Commission. And that's what we call concurrence.
Concurrence, yes. So the chiefs have the power to prepare and then sign.
Indenture and sign, but it needs
it doesn't
approval.
End there.
It doesn't end there. It needs the approval of the government.
And the Lands Commission acts on behalf of government. So that is what is called concurrence. Concurrence. So here in the region,
we concur to the grant made by...
Concur, to concur.
Yes.
You have agreed
that
it is perfect. Yeah. Documents prepared by the chiefs. Okay. All right. So concurrence, and as you were explaining, the other type.
The other type is as I said, after concurrence, the deeds just registered. But when it comes to land registration or land title registration, as we normally call, it has to go through another process.
Okay.
To the Land Registration Division. In Kumasi, what we do, or in Ashanti, what we do is that as soon as maybe concurrence is granted, we forward it to the LRD straight away. That's the Land Registration Division.
Okay.
And then they will start the process. We don't give the document to the lessee. We give it to the LRD, and then they will start the process. Okay. And it will go through a process of publication, preparation of parcel plan.
Okay.
And then later on, and unfortunately or fortunately in Kumasi, the head of LRD signs, and the chairman of the Regional Lands Commission countersigns.
Oh, that's what happens.
This is what happens here. It's different from what happens in Accra.
Okay.
And I think this was challenged some time ago, but we're able to defend it, the process. That yes, now if we talk about LRD, or even the head of LRD, that's the director herself or himself, we are talking about the commission.
Okay.
Under the new Lands Commission,
yes.
The Lands Commission Act. We are talking about the commission. So if in the past it was signed by only the director, now the law is saying that the commission. So if the commission decides that, okay, then the chairman should countersign. I think it's right.
Okay.
So that is what we do here.
So after it is forwarded to Land Registration Division, the process ends there?
Yeah, it goes through the process of publication, then to
Publication.
SMD for...
When we are doing publication, what do we seek to achieve?
Well, we publicize the deed or the document or the interest. If, for instance, the STU has granted 99 years to somebody, we publish it in the dailies, the papers, for everybody to understand that, yes, this piece of land has been granted to Mr. A. So if you have any reservation or you have any caveat or claim or counterclaim to it, then you can voice it out. If after 14 days nobody raises any objection, then the director signs or the head signs.
And that is mandatory?
Mandatory.
Okay.
Mandatory 14 days.
What is the nature of cases that you receive? Do you really think that running these two systems is okay? Or what are your observations? What do you think can better the system? What should we do? How should we go around it such that, well, everybody gets to understand this whole process and goes by it, so in the future we don't have any problems trying to register one's interest?
I think it's not the best two systems running concurrently within the same region. And under the law, land registration is supposed to, be practiced in all the regions. But unfortunately, it has not happened. But somebody comes from the other district. He comes and within a short time, he gets his land registered or his deeds registered. So whereas maybe land title registration would take, say, 3 months, this can take about 1 month, 2 months.
Wow. All right, so how long does it take to have your deed actually registered?
Well, it depends upon the kind of document and maybe the land. If it is state land, it has to go through the process of approval by the Regional Lands Commission. And the Regional Lands Commission meets quarterly. So before it's approved, 3 months is gone. And then you have to go through a process of preparation of the lease, cadastral plan, and other things before finally signed by the Regional Lands Commission, Regional Chairman of the Regional Lands Commission. And after signing, it has to go through the process of registration. If it's within Kumasi, then we are talking about another 2 months, minimum 1 month, because of the publication, 14 days, and then the other processes. So if it is state land, then we are talking about 4 to 6 months. Wow. If it is two land, we receive the indentures from the stools, and then we process. So we only process for concurrence, and concurrence doesn't go through the process of approval by the Regional Lands Commission, because the Commission has already taken a decision that with two lands, the chairman and the secretary have been delegated with the role of getting it concurred. So once the regional lands officer recommends, the chairman signs the concurrence. And then once it is signed, and it is not within Kumasi district, that is K1, it is registered under deeds. But under even Act 1036, this registration has to go through a process of publication. But in fact, we are here to roll out the processes, the modalities. And therefore, as I speak now, it doesn't go through that process of publication. So it is the time frame for registration under deeds is curtailed. But under land registration, because of the publication, about 4 months.
Okay. Well, so we are looking at the region, Ashanti region. If one wants to actually acquire land, sometimes we receive simple questions from the public. I call it simple because, yes, I'm with the Lands Commission, but these are questions that mean a lot to the general public. How do I start with the process? If I find myself in the Ashanti region, I have identified a parcel of land that I am interested in, I want to get it. I mean, how do I start it? What is the process like? Can you just highlight it? Can you just walk me through a simple process that whoever is watching today can follow through and get the land acquired, registered, managed in a way that the Lands Commission wants it to be? If one wants to acquire land without any issues, we want to understand how the process works here.
Okay, thank you very much, my dear sister. In Ashanti, unfortunately for us, because of the setup of the Ashanti Land Secretariat, there are so many litigation, free lands in Ashanti region. But you should be able to ascertain whether the land you want to acquire even conforms to the planning scheme, or it is for Stool A or Stool B, or it is state land or stool land. You must know all these things. So it's better for you to contact the commission, the Lands Commission, for a search to be conducted to ascertain whether it is state land. If it is state land, then you are dealing with the Lands Commission. If it is stool land, then you know the caretaker chief you are dealing with, because in the Kumasi traditional, within the Kumasi Traditional Council, the land belongs to the Golden Stool, but the Golden Stool has caretaker chiefs, okay, who manage the lands on behalf of the Golden Stool. So at the end of the day, they make the grants, and then the Ashanti confirms. So you should know whoever is the caretaker. Other than that, you go to a chief who may not be the caretaker of the land. You take money or drink money, he will give you an indenture, and then if you come to the Lands Commission, there will be an encumbrance. So it's better you always come to Lands Commission. Then we will conduct a search and then be able to tell you the status of the land and whether it conforms to the planning scheme or what, before you can maybe part with money. And after parting with money, it has to go through the process of preparation of the indenture, if it is stool land, at the end of the chief. And then it's submitted to us, we process, and then we register.
Let me just interject. I want us to follow through the process one after the other. I have my money. I have identified a piece of land. I want to go in for it. Number one, what do I do? Number two, where do I go? Number three. So we want to get these points so that we can be guided. Anybody watching can be guided, because I want to believe you don't have issues at all. There are no litigations in this region. Because
there
if the Golden Stool actually oversees, I mean...
No, lands within the Kumasi traditional area. No, but we have lands within the paramountcies.
The paramountcies,
managed by the paramount chiefs.
Okay, okay. But if yours falls within
Kumasi traditional area, then you have to contact a caretaker chief.
Oh.
Who makes the grant.
Okay.
They alienate on behalf of the Asantini. But eventually you have to forward everything to Asantini's Land Secretariat.
So the most important thing is that regardless of where you find the land, the advice or the caution you are throwing out there is that people should contact the Lands Commission first?
Yes.
How do they contact you? I have seen this parcel of land. I want to buy it. Someone tells me I own this parcel. So I run to you and come and ask you, Lands Commission, do you know anything about this land? How is the process in practical terms? How is the process like?
I would advise that you apply for a search with a copy of a site plan.
Okay.
And
so I pick a site plan from the landowner.
Yes.
Okay.
Then you apply to the Lands Commission for a search. You address it to the regional lands officer for a search.
In writing? You put it in writing?
Yes.
You don't just submit a site plan at the...
No.
Okay.
Because we want to give you an official information. We can be used anywhere.
Okay.
So if you don't apply and you come to me and I give you a verbal information, you can't use it against me. And that may even not be accurate. Okay. So it's always better for you to come to the Lands Commission with an official letter attached with a site plan addressed to the regional lands officer for a search. And then we'll give you an official information about the land. Okay. Whether it is state land, it conforms to the planning scheme, or whether it is not earmarked for the purpose for which you intend using the land for.
Are you saying the Lands Commission is able to give out that information, whether that parcel of land, information on the planning scheme? Do you provide information on that as well in your search reports?
Yes, if it doesn't conform, we inform you. It's in the search report. Yes, we do that. Because we have virtually all the approved planning schemes in our custody.
That's quite interesting.
And therefore, once you come, yes, we inform you that yes, it doesn't conform to the planning scheme. It conforms to the planning scheme.
Wow.
We give you that information as well.
That's additional information for the applicant.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so you come to the Lands Commission, you address the letter to the regional lands officer, attach your site plan, requesting a search to be conducted on that land. And when the report is ready, you communicate through same means. Yeah, you write back to the applicant?
Yes, and then you can
that will take a bit of time.
Go and pick it at the client service.
So tell me, how long does it even take to conduct the search? I mean, to secure one parcel of land around a very hot area. And so I applied to the commission for a search to be conducted. How long? Now that I am going to put it into writing, but not just come to your client service access unit and just submit a site plan and say, I need a search conducted for me. I'm giving a bill and I just pay for it, but I have to write to the regional lands officer. How long does it usually take?
Our major problem has been the difficulty in retrieving information because of the manual system that we use. Oh. Other than that, but in spite of that, searches can be conducted within a day.
A day?
2 or 3 days. Maximum 1 week. You should have your search report. The only hitch is that sometimes they drop their application here and they never make any follow-up.
But are we looking at other means that we can communicate these applicants? Because I'm looking at the time frame, like you just mentioned. You write back to the applicant, the response may be lying there and the applicant may not even know. Do you post, how do you do it? You call them, come for your letter, or
sometimes we push them. You know, we don't have full complement of the CSA.
The CSA.
And therefore, we haven't started this sending information out through SMS and that kind of thing. But when we have the full complements of that, we'll be sending out text messages. When your search is ready, we just inform you, come and pick it.
So the practice now is that you would call the applicants to come for?
Yes, we take their phone numbers.
Okay.
We call
when they are applying for the service. Okay. Okay. Now, so we are looking at about a month to get the information.
As for search, it can be a day, 2 days, 3 days,
that's
maximum
very
1 week.
Fast.
You should have your search, unless maybe sometimes very difficult to retrieve the information.
Okay.
That's where we have a problem. But if the information is just there, we can give you the search within a day.
That's very interesting to know that searches in the Ashanti region are conducted within 3 to 4, 5 days. What are you waiting for? When we come back, we're going to ask Surveyor Oduro-Kwarteng more questions about the services the region provides to the general public. We'll take a commercial break. Thank you for watching. We'll be right back. Are you wondering why so many people have issues concerning registering their lands, or why the issue of land litigations have always been on the ascendancy? Because so many people have failed to do what we call due diligence. Buying a land, as we always say, is not like buying a common commodity on the market. One needs to invest a lot of time and money into the whole process. Getting to know who actually is the rightful owner of a particular parcel of land in the country takes a bit of time and money. To conduct a search to ascertain who owns this parcel of land, it means one would have to run to the Lands Commission to receive that kind of information to make an informed decision on as to whether to go into any land transaction or not. We have put a team together to help you appreciate this whole process of acquiring land and registering land in the country. Follow us and then we'll give you more insight into how to acquire and register your land in Ghana. Facebook at LandscomGH, on Twitter at LandscomGH, and on Instagram at LandscomGH. So welcome back. The show is Land Matters. We just want to help you understand the land issues on the country, do the right things, and avoid mistakes in your land transactions. So Surveyor Stephen Oduro-Kwarteng, welcome back.
Thank you.
Just as you indicated earlier before we went on the commercial break about searches, the importance of conducting a search before any land transaction, you hinted that one should ensure that information has been received. Records information has been received from the Lands Commission before parting away, with money. Tell us a bit more about it. I find that bit more interesting and very relevant because I, in my observation, I see that a lot of people miss this first step. So once they identify the land and by word of mouth, the person says, oh, it's mine. Once I lay claims to the land and I am able to show you a copy of an indenture which has my name, then of course I have no reason to doubt that you are the owner of that land. But today we are learning more that we need to come to the Lands Commission. Regardless of whoever you are dealing with, come to the Lands Commission, conduct a search. For us, let us give you records information. So are we saying that we have information on all the parcels in this region?
Throughout Ghana, I must say that most parcels of land have no leases.
What do you mean
and
by that?
And therefore not recorded in our system.
Okay.
Because you need to apply for a lease before we can record it. So in fact, in Ghana, I can say lands that are covered by titles will not be more than 20%.
Wow.
So if you ask whether all the parcels of land are covered, we don't. So there are certain, but at least we'll be able to inform you whether it is state or stew, and whether the plan you are holding is consistent with the planning scheme. And whether your intended use is in conformity with what's on the layout. At least we should be able to tell you.
That means that the applicant may not have to fall back on the Land Use and Special Planning Authority?
Not necessarily, because like I said, we have almost all the approved planning schemes. And under Act 1036, Section 117, after the promulgation of this act, LUSPA is supposed to furnish that with all the planning schemes that they have, or the assemblies.
Okay.
And when in my case, I wrote letters to all the districts, and some of them provided, but others didn't. But Kumasi, we are blessed and say that as soon as...
Let me just applaud you for your proactiveness in that regard. So you have all the, I mean, most of the planning schemes with you.
Yes.
It is the reason you can inform your applicants that this is not in conformity with our planning scheme and all that. And it saves them a lot of time.
Yes.
Because I know that back in Accra, the process is just like you dealing with the Lands Commission, going back to the assembly to ensure that your plan is in conformity with the planning scheme and all that. They give you a letter to go and take information from the yes. So once you can get all that from the Lands Commission, it saves you a lot of money and time. So what are you waiting for? Run to the Lands Commission in the Ashanti region for a search, and you have all this information in your report. So Surveyor, your advice on people seeking to secure land in this region?
My advice is that if you want to purchase land in Ashanti region, it's better you contact us, the Lands Commission, because we have the records of all parcels of land. Even those we don't have, we'll be able to get information across regarding the status of the land. That is whether it is state or stew. In Ashanti, we don't have any family land. And then we'll be able to get you information as to whether it is consistent with the planning scheme and whether it is not a market, even though you intend using it for a residential building. We have this information. So it's better you contact us. We feed you with that information. And then we can also advise you as to the caretaker chief that you have to contact. Better still, we can advise you to contact Ashanti's Land Secretariat, where they have the boundaries of all the caretaker chiefs to advise you. So once you are here, it will be very difficult for us to give you wrong information to buy what I would say litigation. Never will it happen because we have the records. So my advice is that come to us and we'll feed you with that information before you part with money. And then we'll also assist you to process the documents. You will not fall into the hands of quack surveyors or infidels in the system who always want to pounce on people, ignorant people, to take money from them. It is better you see us and we'll be able to advise you.
Beautiful. Thank you so very much, sir, for your time. Before I leave you, did you just mention that there are no family lands in the region?
There are no family lands in Ashanti region.
Wow.
Only state and then stew. If a family has a land, then he has acquired it from a stew. And therefore
okay, so it is possible for someone to maybe...
by way of a lease, like any other individual.
Okay.
A family can acquire from the stew. That's so and so family.
That's the part I wanted you to clarify.
99 years or 50 years or whatever. And in that case, you can manage that land within the 99 years or 50 years. But of course, with the consent of the grantor.
Okay.
But we don't have pure family land managed by families, no.
Okay, so if you are getting that land, I mean, and it's a lease directly from a family, then you have to...
There's a need for you to go for consent from the stew.
Okay, from the stew.
Yes.
No, I want to understand something. So it means that a family cannot directly lease any land to an individual who is interested in that land in this region?
Not at all.
Okay, caution. That's where I wanted to be clear for our viewers. So if you are dealing with anyone who claims the Bojo family in Ashanti region is giving you a lease, be mindful of such transactions. Fall on the Lands Commission. So the advice is pretty clear. Conduct a search. They have all the records information for you. And so they will not mislead you. If you want to buy any litigation-free land, today the advice we are receiving from the Regional Lands Officer is that come to the Lands Commission, do a search. Once your search report is favorable, they can advise you to go ahead and then part away with money. I mean, I think it's a very good advice to all of us. Surveyor, you have been with the Lands Commission for a very long time. I want to take your final words on how you think that we as a country, we as a Lands Commission, can better land administration. In fact, at the end of the day, what the public is looking out there for is to see a more robust system. I mean, how we can ensure that delays in the system become a thing of the past, how we can ensure that we are giving out the right information, we are not misleading the public, how we can ensure that the trust the people have in the commission is strengthened. Because sometimes it's difficult for people to even understand that the Lands Commission gives out genuine information and they can rely on your information and then go ahead with their transactions. So all in all, what can you advise? What can we do as a commission or as a country to better the land administration system?
Thank you very much. You know, our major problem has to do with survey and mapping.
Okay.
Unfortunately, Ghana depends on this kind of asking surveyors to go to the site every now and then to do demarcation and survey. But you go to other countries, they have flown in terms of using a plane to get information for the surveyors. In that case, all the base map, they have photo maps, and therefore there is no need for a surveyor to go to every parcel of land to do the demarcation. Once government is able to pump money for Ghana to be flown, I think we'll be making a very big headway.
Okay.
To curtail these delays that we currently having. Then number two.
So we need to fly the entire country?
Yes.
Okay.
I know it's expensive, but we have to.
I have heard of a transformation agenda where there's this program coming up that they seek to fly the entire country, and it's quite expensive. The government is still considering doing something like that. I don't know how far the conversation has gone, but I know that that program is the project is actually coming up. So it's timely. The advice is timely. Yeah.
And then digitization or digitalization is very important. We are unable to do that, and we still be grappling with this manual system of land administration. We're not making a headway. So, and I think government is doing well in that direction, and it should be continued. Thirdly, Lands Commission should be well resourced.
Okay.
To enable us to take on board whatever functions that or services that we deliver. We have a lot to do, but unfortunately we don't have money, the wherewithal to be able to do that. And I think government should well-resource the Lands Commission to be able to take care of all the services that we have to deliver. And there again, we training. The staff of the commission has to be trained. Wow. Capacity building, very important. For instance, you know, we were separate departments and we came together as a commission.
Yes.
Now, a lands officer, regional lands officer can be picked from SMD, from valuation, from LRD, and from valuation. Unfortunately, land administration, or even not all of us did land economy. Others read rheumatic.
Okay.
And others are lawyers. So when a person that is appointed as a regional lands officer, there should be orientation. The person should be trained well. Because you are coming to do land administration. You are the member secretary to the Regional Lands Commission. And it's about land administration. So if you are a geomatic engineer, you'll be found wanting. And we have to take them through these processes. So
are you saying the onus is on the commission to train their staff? Okay.
Yes,
to make
you
them
don't
more
just pick
versatile.
somebody to become the regional lands officer and then you leave him to his own fate. No.
Okay.
Train
A
him.
lot of training must go in there.
You should also be trained in terms of survey and mapping, in terms of valuation, in terms of land registration.
All to make each one of us
yes,
versatile.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because you come in to control or supervise 4 divisions,
Wow.
each with different services or different functions. 33 years.
Oh, then let me seize the opportunity to say Ayuko to
Thank you very much.
33 solid years. And you have been with the Lands Commission.
Yes, started in 1990.
You have indeed paid your dues.